Hi, my name is Nisha Rose Davison with AgriSafe Network, and today I will be talking about the AgriSafe Learning Lab for the ASHCA Tools of the Trade Safety Tool presentation. AgriSafe Network is an organization that was founded in 2003 by rural nurses in the Midwest. Our tagline is protecting the people who feed the world. The way that we engage in this topic in this area is through four distinct ways. One is an ongoing needs assessment of ag producer needs, utilizing a total farmer health model, which I will discuss. We also train rural health professionals across the nation to, again, identify agricultural, occupational health and safety risks and how to prepare those workers to work safely. We also establish partnership with NIOSH Ag Centers, rural research centers, and other nonprofit organizations. And then lastly, we maintain a culture of readiness and organizational expectation to protect and respond. For example, we've done things with extreme weather around wildfires and farm floods, as well as the recent pandemic, offering available new and emerging resources for addressing COVID-19 safety because agriculture was deemed an essential industry for workers. So the total farmer health model in which we use is really adapted from the total worker health to agriculture model through NIOSH, which is the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. We have kind of created this model because we know that a large number, I believe, 95 or 96% of farms are small family operations, and that comes to a number of about just over 900,000 people, and that includes the primary producer themselves, as well as spouses, the secondary operators, and parents who may still be working in some capacity on the operation, as well as children and youth. So we know that where you live and work impacts your health, and so we really try to look at the total farmer health concept in a holistic approach. How does mental health and cognition, your regular hazards, if you're looking at large machinery and livestock and chemicals, pesticides, but all of these play a role: access to healthcare, extreme weather, lack of sleep, socialization and social engagement. And so we really look at all those components, and that really guides and drives all of the work and resources that we try to put out in the industry. So the theme of the hour, or theme of the moment, if you will, for this presentation is AgriSafe Learning Lab. And that is our learning management system, which puts you in a space to learn wherever you are on any variety of topics at your own pace. The AgriSafe Learning Lab has been up and operational for probably about 2 years at this point, going into our third year. And it's just been a great resource for folks who are looking for health and safety content. And so that's what we'll dig in today with actually another a live demo of that information. So AgriSafe Learning Lab lives online. It can be found at learning.agrisafe.org. And to get you started, all you would need to do is create a free guest account, and it literally takes less than a minute. You would provide your first, last name, and an email address, because it does live online and it requires an email address. And so with that, this is kind of a little schematic here, and we use Invest in Your Health, which, shameless plug, is another Tools of the Training, Tools of the Trade presentation available at the ASHCA Safety Summit. So Invest in Your Health is a program geared towards ag educators, and also can be used for health and safety professionals, training people new to ag, or even working with young producers on a number of prevention and safety topics. And so this was used as an example. You would go to learning.agrisafe.org, create a free profile, or determine your level of membership interest, register for either a course, which is a course is a multi-part topic or access to a training that has been grouped together, or individual webinars are available as well. If it's a webinar or a course that requires pre and post content, you would take whatever those quizzes and assessments are. And then at the end of that, you would get access to either a certificate or a digital badge, which you could use to show your investment in that safety and health training topic. And then you would be allowed to download any related resources, presentation content that might be in a PDF format, or resources associated with that. So that can all be done through the AgriSafe Learning Lab. So this is a screen that just shows you a screenshot of what it looks like. This is our home page. So this is going to be your home base. This is AgriSafe Learning Lab. On your right side, you have your home panel, which will bring you back to this main page. Your training catalog, which again lists out your webinars, which are individual courses, your courses, which are grouped content that's grouped together, and then your entire resource library is available. We also have a frequently asked questions section just to kind of troubleshoot if you're having any issues. A quick search, which allows you to search by category, topic type, and all of that sort of information. So we'll kind of walk through what that looks like, but I wanted you to visually see what that page looks like. Here is just a quick snapshot of programs. Again, all of our content available through AgriSafe and its partners that we partner with are available in the AgriSafe Learning Lab. So AgriSafe Nurse Scholar is for rural nurses. It's a professional continuing education course, which is grouped topics together that are available. COVID-19 Rapid Response is not so much a program, but just readily available information for ag employers and people who are working in ag on safety components of COVID-19. Veterans Health, we also focus on veterans, military veterans who are now working in agriculture, and talk about some of those common occupational threats that are common to both the military as well as agriculture. Information about National Farm Safety and Health Week, as well as other programming such as opioid misuse prevention for healthcare providers. So with our programs, we really try to target three distinct audience, if you will. It's going to be the health and safety professional, the rural health professional, as well as the ag producer and farmer who is looking for information on safety content. So that's just an example of the type of materials you'll find within the AgriSafe Learning Lab. So now it's time for a live demo. We're going to switch from this PowerPoint onto the live site. Again, we're going to be going to learning.agrisafe.org. We're going to discuss the guest account, membership options if interested, site search, how do you navigate through our site, and then look at some of those frequently asked questions. So here we are. So this is our home page. It looks a little bit different, but the components are the same. So at the top of the home page, you have this scrolling banner. So this is where information lives on various different topics. If you're interested in the COVID-19 response information on webinars and information and resources we have on that topic, you could click on that banner for easy access. So this, for example, shows our on-demand webinars. What that means is it was previously recorded, but it is on demand and available for your access at any given time at your convenience. So I'm always going to try to go back to the homepage in between presentations. So we have the other topics mentioned, veteran farmer resources, and not invest in your health should be a banner, but I don't think it lives here yet. And then the opioid misuse prevention. So this is, again, homepage. This banner kind of takes you to some quick information, maybe hot topics or things that we know are frequently searched. And then you have these three categories here. It's so many different ways the same information can be displayed, but it tries to be organized so you can readily get whatever information you're searching for. So this shows webinars, those individual courses that are individual recorded webinars that are listed independent of one another. Then you have course content, which is grouped together. And right now in that course content, we only have two courses that qualify: the Invest in Your Health program for ag safety training, and then the AgriSafe Nurse Scholar program for rural health nurses. And then lastly, a very rich resource library that has a lot of PDF, fact sheets, e-learning tools, all of the like can be found in that resource library. And so before you can get access to any of this, it's going to require that you log in. So logging in is going to mean that you have a account. And that can be found under membership, which I will show shortly. But your username, again, is usually generally can be your email. And then you would set and select your password to get access to those things I previously mentioned. So if you're new to AgriSafe, we have a website, agrisafe.org, which is just our public facing page where you can kind of find initial information about AgriSafe. And then the AgriSafe Learning Lab is where all of the training and content and resources actually live. So this is the member page, and I'm only showing you this because the first step is to establish an account, and there are several different levels. The guest account gives you limited access. We have a number of programs that are grant funded and free to access, and we want you to access them. So the guest account would satisfy that. If you're looking for more in-depth material, maybe things that were previously recorded, we have a years of content listed in our AgriSafe Learning Lab. So if you would like to go back and look at a topic that might be a little bit older, may not be under a specific grant funded program and available, there are other membership options available for individuals, for organizations, for businesses, and then we have some custom state and province membership affiliates that we can create. And then if you happen to be a student in any particular program, we do have a student membership available for little or no cost. And so those are the options. What's mentioned in this presentation is the guest account, because that will get you an account where you can get in and look at a number of the resources and some of the webinar content. So these other areas are available for consideration. So kind of going back to our login, which again, that guest account will get you here. It'll log you into the AgriSafe Learning Lab. And so now you could start to search. If you are looking for webinar content, we have so much information available, even cues for most recently covered topics. We do a number of webinars. I believe in 2020, during the pandemic, we had 44 recorded webinars that we had available. So that was really mind-blowing in a year's time period. So we're constantly doing webinars throughout the year, and that information is then going to be available via the Learning Lab. So you have the latest webinar information that you can check out. Since you've logged in, using myself an example, I'm a member, so I can register for free to get to this content. You have more information listed about each course. I'll just use this, dispelling misinformation about COVID-19. It gives you an overview of the summary of the topic. So what is this about? The intended audience. So you can see, does this really fit what your need is at the time? And then it'll give you funding information if it is if it is associated with a grant funded project that we're working under. It'll show you information and bios about the current speakers who are giving the presentation, and then the contents or components, which is showing you the webinar, any evaluation, and any certificate and badge information. So that's kind of the breakdown. And I know I went through that fairly quick, but that's an example if you registered for a course, what you would have access to. So I'm going to go back to the home page here. And again, this is your main home page. It shows your individual webinar content, your grouped course content, and then the resource library. I think it's important to point out the resource library because we really try to group topics in an order that could be easily accessible. So on this page, we show information for healthcare providers, which is one of our target audiences, our topics on behavioral and mental health, topics on ergonomics, hearing loss prevention, heat-related illness, natural disasters, opioids, personal protective equipment. We have a lot listed here. And so we really tried to sort it out. Some things can cross different sectors and be in different spaces, but we try to group everything in a very logical manner to give you access. So let's see which one. I think I'm going to just select personal protective equipment. And this is again grouped by topic in the resource catalog. As you can see, this is a free guest account. So I'm kind of showing you what you would have access to under this login. So this is the personal protective equipment section. We have a number of resources, knowing the difference between a fit test and a user seal check. Feedback from avian influenza personal protective equipment guidelines during one of the last emerging pandemics that we kind of saw around the flu, influenza. If you're working with grain, protecting yourself head to toe if you're a male or female, and just, you know, depending on what your exposure point is, kind of resources that show that. You're able to click on that link and it'll give you the PDF. You can download that to your personal device or print it out, but you have access to that file. And so that's kind of a snapshot of the AgriSafe Learning Lab and the resources page. I'm going to go back to the home page. So that was like an example of the resource library. Again, a very robust section of resource materials that have been AgriSafe developed, or it could belong to other partners that have allowed us to co-host and post that information on our site. So we really appreciate that. Courses recommended from you. Like once you kind of get in and establish your account, once you look at certain presentations or webinars, it may recommend courses that are similar to that. For your own benefit, to again just assist you with seeing what's available. Another section, place to really look at how to navigate the site is a quick search. So we have a number of categories available. This is the category, so by topic for aging farmer, behavioral health, continuing ed if you're a healthcare professional, topics like COVID-19 and grain bin safety. So we really try to do some of the hard work of sorting out the content, because a lot does live in this space. Again, over 10 years of content can easily be found here. So we really have done our due diligence to separate it out. But you can choose your topic if it's OSHA standards. And you can also just do a search and see what pulls up under that. So it kind of shows you the resources that are going to have information regarding OSHA standards and if those things are mentioned. The downloaded items are going to be your resources, like your fact sheets. The items that you could view, for example, are going to be recorded webinars. So it'll give you the overview. What is a summary of this topic? What are we trying to cover? What objectives exist and who is the intended population? Show you who those speakers are. And then this all shows the components. So as I mentioned previously in another example, this component, before you view the webinar, it has a pre-test component as relating to grant funding. So it's going to give you a quick quiz to see what do you know about the topic. Then it'll allow you to see the recording of the live presentation, which is on demand. And then there'll be a post-test to see what was retained after that. Evaluation, and then a badge or certificate. So depending on the course, it may have different components, but ultimately you just follow those steps and it'll give you access to the next section available. So this is an example of a course that's a webinar, but it had a pre and post test component. So it has 5 different contents to complete that different section. And again, this is available for free. So back to our homepage. I kind of took you through the search bar. So you have category, you have type. So if you're looking for individual webinars, grouped courses, or resource material, that's where you can kind of pull that up. Like, hey, I'm looking for a resource on the topic of, you can type in your words and you can see that I've had different searches here in the past. So you would type in what your topic you're interested in. Let's say we want to find a resource on opioids. And we don't have a resource for opioids under that space. So that really wasn't a good example, but again, just showing you how you can actually search in that space. Let's try to do women's health. Just type in women on women's safety. Now this should have a resource available. So my search functions are failing here. I do apologize. I'm going to go back to the home section. Again, many different ways to navigate. That was 2 failed examples. I do apologize. But you can also search by category to pull up information that you're looking under, or you can go to the resource section and choose your topic and see what falls under that space. All right. Lastly, what I would like to show are the frequently asked questions. And this just, again, if you have questions, we do have a team of people on our staff who work with the AgriSafe Learning Lab, and that's going to be Stacy Jenkins, who is our online distance training director, as well as Ansley Fye, who is our program manager. And so this talks about, do you need to be a member? You don't have to be a member, but you do have to set up a profile. We did discuss that. And what's required is a first, last name, and email for that. How do you sign up to be a member of AgriSafe Network? I kind of showed you that membership page. There are various options based on what your needs are and your audience. So if you're representing yourself as an individual, we have organization membership as well as state and affiliate memberships that can be customized. If you're having access with any of the files, we would reach out to our team with either Stacy Jenkins or Ansley Fye to see what's happening with that file. It could have been an issue within our system, but we would resolve that and get that fixed for you. And then who do you contact for technical assistance? So again, this is a very quick overview, but this is our learning management system. It's just that. It's where we put all of our resources, our webinars, develop any collective course content, and a very robust resource library. Although my examples didn't show you that, it is available for various different topics on how you can navigate this site. And so now I'm going to go back to the presentation. So we kind of covered how to get access, guest account membership, a site search, a brief site search, and then frequently asked questions. So AgriSafe exists solely because of the partnerships. It's a cornerstone of what we do. We hope that you utilize these tools to protect the people who feed the world in your unique organizations, either as ag safety and health managers or producers who are trying to bring training to their employees. We really appreciate you utilizing our tools and reaching out to AgriSafe with any questions. To continue to connect with AgriSafe, we have agrisafe.org on our website, and we are on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, as well as Instagram and YouTube. So we are on social media under AgriSafe Network. We ask that you can connect with us in those spaces. And then lastly, this is our team. This is all the people behind the scenes who are doing the work, helping create content or get it to you through our AgriSafe Learning Lab to be a resource. My name is Nisha Rose Davison. I serve as a Public Health Program Director. Ansley Fye is the program manager here, and she will be the one most likely helping with the AgriSafe Learning Lab. She will be the host for the Tools of the Trade sessions at the Ask Us Summit, and a great contact to follow up with any questions regarding access to that site should you have any problems. So very wonderful and dedicated team. We thank you for your time today and hope we see you on our AgriSafe Learning Lab and utilizing those resources that are available. So thank you so much.